Faceoff X is going to be big. Both teams come in under 50%. Chase Mullins for Penn State, Andrew Mcmeekin for Princeton going to take the draw, and we're underway. Immediately, a faceoff violation is going to go against Penn State, so it'll be Princeton ball. Pull the air for the sophomore from Bedford, New Hampshire. Another violation. This time, it's going to go against Princeton. 3 violations and a half, and it's an automatic 30-second penalty for every ensuing violation. So it's big that both teams have one in the first 3 minutes of this game. For Mcmeekin. Mcmeekin and Mullins once again. Ball pops straight up in the air. Kicked around and won by Penn State, still with Penn State. Faceoff makes a one-handed catch. This ride is ferocious here by Princeton. Nice job of clearing by Penn State initially, but the ball's on the carpet. Princeton won it back.
That offense was explosive, and Grant was masterful with the through pass.
Mcmeekin wins it to himself. Slusher opts not to go with early offense, instead backs it out, waits for reinforcements.
TJ Malone was a freshman on that team with amen. Orders when you're playing against a heavy thumper like Jack Posey.
Mcmeekin battling with Mullins. Penn State comes out of there with it. Sickler gets it back. He can shoot. Gio makes the save. Sickler's a former offensive midfielder.
Totally under control. Almost like he's down a speed, right?
Yeah.
Like he's so calm.
Saw where he stands on the overall lists for Princeton goal scorers. Big time names on that list.
Princeton team has just embodied the word team, right? Being held together with duct tape. 6 starters out for the season.
Right, I mean, you think about the names too. Sam English, Christian Ronda, Braden Saris, Luke Anderson, Tyler Sandoval, the face-off man at the start of the year. And Mcmeekin's done a great job coming in to take draws. He just won that last one. So possession to...
Gets matchups to shoot from the middle of the field. And when you shoot from the middle of the field, you're shooting at an ocean, basically, compared to these low-angle shots when you're dodging down the alleys with nothing to look at. And he does that through a pick game. And he also offsets offensively where there's some overload. So offensive players' arms out. He takes his stick away from the body at the last second. Keeps it tight for the stick protection, but when he shoots, his wingspan increases. And he hits the back of the net. Coulter Mcmeekin is a high-volume shooter. And when he's feeling it, watch out.
And Jack Faceoff just a split second too late in closing the door on the near side pipe. And Mcmeekin...
You're not going to put a long pull on me. That's disrespect. I'm going to the rack.
Part of that crew from the Oregon Trail made its way east. Stevens picks up a big ground ball in the middle of the field. Here comes Princeton again.
Been incredible what they've done offensively too in this not typical Princeton offense. They're number 2 in the nation in assists per game. All 7 of their goals tonight are unassisted.
Yeah, and Mcmeekin has owned the face-off dot. 8 of 11 so far tonight. That is going to happen. Sickler scores. Kevin Parnham, all props to 55 in white as well. Picking up that ground ball. Getting it into possession. Mcmeekin, he'll shoot. Faceoff, no issues. Now quickly on the outlet. Malone, look at Malone coming to get the ball. No offside either for Penn State. Trainer. Here's Malone. He scores!
Panzamonian They love their Nittany Lions. TJ Malone is having himself a half. He's had 2 incredible passes. He's riding all over the place. And he knows this will be the last time he plays on this turf. You got to go for broke in the shot location on Princeton. Gianfrancaro, who's a righty, the last 2 shots perfectly placed to the offside lower corner. Sickler, then Malone.
3 goals in less than 2 minutes has Penn State believing once again. Got to find some type of solution, though, at that face-off dot. Mcmeekin is dominating both Mullins and Bond. Hudson Bond took the draw on that last time, Kark, and Mcmeekin won it easily to himself.
Princeton's won 10. Penn State just 3.
Because they can do this, they can.
Gianfrancaro, who's a righty, the last 2 shots perfectly placed to the offside lower corner. Sickler, then Malone.
3 goals in less than 2 minutes has Penn State believing once again. Got to find some type of solution, though, at that face-off dot. One of 3 Princeton midfielders with a 2020 season. You know who the others are? Schreiber and Courier.
That's pretty good company.
That's ridiculous. And he just showed why he can include himself in that company on that play.
You could argue those are the 2 best midfielders in the world, right? Different players. Schreiber wins the PLL Midfielder of the Year almost every year. Zach Courier is, for my money, the most versatile midfielder maybe I've ever seen.
Malone gets a great look. That's the 3rd time tonight. 7 has found 20 on the doorstep, and they've converted.
Penn State's on to something here with TJ Malone. All 3 of his assists are towards the top of the restraining box. He's able to use his speed, get the defense to stare at him, and he finds these bottom corners across his body. Gets the second pass to Ethan Long. TJ Malone is showing some versatility for the next level in the PLL too, because Andy Towers, the coach of the Chaos, picked up Malone. And he's got some options with this guy because he can play up top, he can play behind. He's a scorer, he's a passer. He's got the full game, Cotter.
Long has been finding himself, putting himself in the right spots tonight also as we look at this battle. Mullins has said, I've had enough. I'm not going down without a fight, and this is a big-time fight at the center of this field. You don't see this very often anymore, Kark. Who's going to win the battle for the ground ball? It's got to be a loose ball push. No call. Penn State. Will we get a shot to score here? No. Gio denies him. Wow, Aldridge had a great look there, too. That would have blown the roof off this place if it had one.
In the nation, but on the road, he's going to have to answer the bell in this game for Princeton to live to fight another day and advance to the quarters.
Closest we've been since the 4:40 mark of the first quarter. Ginder now takes the draw for Princeton, and Kobe Ginder continues the winning ways for the Tigers at the dot.
If you're Penn State...
17 draws, mostly Andrew Mcmeekin, a little bit of Kobe Ginder in there as well, and we'll go right to the face-off dot. This is an area that Chase Mullins, Hudson Bond, both got a battle for Penn State. You don't have to totally flip that stat in the second half, but you got to get closer to 50-50, and Mcmeekin wins it easily.
I think Matt Madelon and staff, too, are doing a nice job of using Mcmeekin, a little dose of Kobe Ginder.
Just giving him a little break here and there. I mean, they have closed the gap, and they're playing good lacrosse right now.
Jeff Tambroni is an incredible lacrosse coach. Ever since his days as a head coach at Cornell, going to championship weekend multiple times. Walter Mackesy, Ethan Long starting to smell it.
The Tiger lead is down to 1. 2 goals in 34 seconds for the Nittany Lions. And as the sun set here at Happy Valley, Clark, we have a different game. No room for the weak in the middle of the field. Cooper Kistler comes out of there with it for the Tigers.
What an incredible way to cap off this weekend, right?
And Mullins, his confidence may be growing. Wins the draw. Possession back to Penn State. As we tick down to 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Princeton has now gone 11 minutes of game time without a goal. First time in the entire game. 2:37 left in this third quarter. And look at Chase Mullins winning faceoff draws.
When do you start putting a long stick? You have 4. When do you put one of those 4 on Ethan Long, right? Coming into the contest, you didn't even think about it, right? Because you have Matt Trainer, you have all
Alley for at least one more weekend.
He's an under-the-radar recruit, a late addition to that class, one of the last pledges in the freshman class of 2009.
He's also gotten yeoman's work from Chase Mullins, who's won a couple of draws here in the second half after really struggling in the first. Loose ball picked up by Princeton. Stevens, he may shoot quickly, does wide.
Clock's not running in the stadium. It's not running on our bug or the stadium. There it goes.
Now it's working, but it's behind. The officials are going to have to fix that at some point. Now they'll do it. The beneficiary of your idea of, or seeing how they're inverting the attack up top. Now you can throw a guy like Brent Fleck down low.
But so much of that was also because of Ethan Long. They switched the pole matchups. They were more concerned about Long. And Jeff Tambroni just said, okay, we're going to continue to attack the shorties because all our guys can dodge.
Penn State is winning possessions off the face-off too, which they had no shot almost in the first half.
That played crazy minutes.
And Brendan Nichtern, one of the greatest players in the history of that program. What a job Mullins has done.
If I'm Princeton, because of the inability to break this zone, you're going to have to take chances in transition. Like I thought Gianfrancaro had an opportunity to feed that ball upfield.
Stevens will shoot on the run, and he scores! The captain from Ontario putting his team on his back. They're down 1.
Don't let him set up in the zone. Penn State's in a groove. How do you counter? With some transition, unsettled situation, and there's no better player. Your Swiss Army knife, Jake Stevens, I featured him in the Open, literally does everything for this team. And at that moment, what they needed from him was to strike in transition.
And they need Mcmeekin to find his form that he had in the first half. At the face-off dot, Mullins has been counter-punching all second half long. Mcmeekin kicks it to himself. Gio on the run. Gets it to Pedersen. Pedersen clears it.
You know what the crazy
tie of the nights. That's the kind of night we've had in terms of runs. Now it might be nip and tuck. Stevens. That one bounces too high.
That's the look they want, though. Stevens understands that.
Now Mcmeekin goes from the wing to X. Penn State just packed in defensively. Fracion, an 8-minute and 20-second drought for the Nittany Lions. Now they're back on top. And this has become a real battle to face off, Dot. That time won by Mcmeekin.
What a ground ball by him. That was an amazing ground ball.
Mcmeekin down the alley. Lost by Rotaro. Couldn't handle the pass. Here come the Nittany Lions.